my brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Today I have a different type of pairing lined up. Thanks to Mr. Kevin Jenkins from Chef and the Fat Man, I have a fun holiday recipe and pairing suggestion for all of you. As you may or may not know, I love to cook and I'm always trying out new recipes. So after a recent trip out to Cutter's Lounge in Atlanta, I had the pleasure of being a guest on the Chef and the Fat Man radio show with the challenge of pairing the perfect cigar and spirit with a couple different recipes of Kevin's choosing, one of which I've chose to share with you today. So here goes. I'm going to be making a recipe called Kathy's New Year's Eve Caviar, and it actually comes from a cookbook by the name of Ann Burns Saves the Day. So it's super tasty, really easy to make, and it's a hit at your next holiday party, whether you entertain in your home like I do most of the time, or if you're going to a party and you want to show up with something different. Here's something, again, very easy, simple to make, and tastes really good. So here we go. Now for the sake of camera and filming and all that, I've pre-cut everything and tried to make it very easy just to share with you today. So to start out, you're going to be using 4 cups of black-eyed peas, and whether you cook those on your own, you can, kind of similar to making beans, you're going to boil it, put the lid on it once it comes to a boil, simmer, and let them cook for a couple hours or so. Or if you're in a hurry or you have a last-minute invitation or guests coming over, you can pick up a couple 15-ounce cans of black-eyed peas, and you want to make sure that you rinse them very well and drain the water and all that. So that's what we're starting with here. So here is about 4 cups of black-eyed peas. Next, you're going to be chopping up a couple different types of vegetables. You're going to be using 2 Roma tomatoes, 1 yellow bell pepper, 3 jalapeno peppers, and about a half a cup or so of cilantro. Now, I love to cook because I don't measure anything, so I'm actually probably not the best person to teach you a recipe. However, we're going to do it anyways, but like I said, I don't measure anything. I kind of just eyeball everything. Other than if it says 2 tomatoes, I'm going to use 2 tomatoes, obviously. Now, in case you're not familiar with working with chilies, like these jalapeno peppers that I've already chopped up here, let me just kind of show this to you. So we have, again, cilantro, about half a cup, jalapeno peppers, 1 yellow bell pepper, 2 Roma tomatoes diced up, and the recipe actually calls for green onions, but I changed it up a little bit because I really like red onion in a lot of things with these ingredients. So I'm putting in some red onions, plus I didn't have any green onions on hand, I had red ones, so that and the sake that I actually like red onion better, I'm changing that part up. So you can use the green onions as the recipe calls for, or you can do my style and throw some red onions in there. But again, when you're working with jalapeno peppers, when the recipe calls for you to devein it and take out the seeds, you want to be careful. If you've never worked with them before, you can transfer the oil from the seeds, which is really hot, and that can go on your hands, and then if you touch your face at all, I've made that mistake really young and learned the hard way. It will burn your eyeballs, it'll burn your lips, anything you touch, so be very careful. Make sure you wash your hands afterwards. Some people put gloves on. I don't personally do that. I just make sure I wash my hands and utensils and everything afterwards. But when you're taking out the veins and the seeds from a jalapeno, you want to chop the top of it off, so the part that has the stem, just chop that off, cut it in half, go to the sink, or I usually just put a little bit of running cold water and just take out, you can scrape it out with a spoon or your hands, the stem and any of the seeds, and then you just come over and dice that up as normal. So all that being said, all you're going to do to make this is you're going to dump all of your black-eyed peas and all of your vegetables here. So bell pepper, onion, jalapeno, tomato, and my favorite, cilantro. This gives it an excellent flavor. And then you're going to add about 3 cloves of garlic. So I cheat and I always buy the minced garlic. That's already good to go. So I'm going to put in about 1.5 tablespoons. And you're just going to mix that up. and it's really pretty. I mean, there's a lot of colors, so I'm a fan of any dish that has a lot of colors on it. It's really cool when you're serving or when you have guests over. Just a lot of fun. And I love the name of the recipe. It's the, again, New Year's Eve caviar, Laura's New Year's Eve caviar. And the good part is there's actually no fish eggs, so they're just using the name, which is great. In a separate little bowl, you're going to take about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Again, I don't measure anything, so I'm just going to squeeze about, I have a kind of a small lime, and it's juicy but not super juicy, so I'm actually just going to take the whole lime and squeeze it and call that 2 tablespoons. And you're going to take about the same amount of olive oil, so about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And a little bit of ground cumin. I love cumin. I put it like in almost everything I cook. It has great flavor. And you're just going to whisk that together real quick. So it's super easy. And you're just going to drizzle that over your little salad mix here. And you can use this as a side salad, or the way that I'm going to do it is to make it kind of as an appetizer. Mix that all together there. And then, of course, add a little bit of sea salt. I would say maybe to taste, so I don't have an exact measurement, so whatever your taste is. A little bit of freshly ground black pepper. And voila, your recipe is complete. That takes, maybe 20 minutes, depending on how fast you chop, to make the whole thing. The taste, again, is excellent. You have a lot of nice little flavor combinations. And then what you can do is, for your party, just garnish it with a little bit of some tortilla chips. I like these little blue corn tortilla chips because they're organic, they have a little bit of flaxseed, and it gives me the impression that I'm actually eating healthy when I'm eating chips. You could do whatever you want. Plus they have, again with the blue color, it's kind of a fun decor. So I'm just going to garnish that around. And now you have a nice little treat for your guests, for yourself, or anybody that you'd like. So hopefully you can see this okay. And there you have it. Now, I promised you a pairing, so that was step 1. And of course, most holiday parties that we go to involve an adult beverage of some form. Now for this one here, when I was on the radio show talking with Kevin, I selected a different pairing because I hadn't actually made this yet. I was just going off of the ingredients that I was reading in the recipe. And so now that I've tried it out, I actually have a different suggestion for the pairing. So I'm going to show you in a minute what that's involved. And it's, again, very easy to make, and we're going to have some fun with that and then pair a cigar at the very end of it. So I'll be right back. Back again as promised with the second part of the pairing, which would be the adult beverage of choice. In this case, I've chosen to use tequila because I, for one, love tequila. And this has also been introduced to me, this particular way of drinking it, from Nish Patel. So Nish, if you're watching, thanks again for the awesome recommendation. This one I'm actually using today as a Patron Silver. And normally, if I'm going to drink tequila, I drink añejo, which is an extra aged, very smooth, great flavoring, and I like to just sip it neat, not on the rocks, no foofiness to it at all. And in this case, again with the silver, you have a little bit more of a mild flavor, so with the food you're not going to overpower anything, which is, in my opinion, is the ideal way to do a pairing. Again, you're picking out some certain flavors that are in the food, which in this case you have jalapeno, bell pepper, you have a little bit of black pepper and salt, some garlic, lime, good flavors that are going to stand out, and you definitely don't want to mask those. You just want to find something that's going to complement it. That being said, again, I've gone for the silver Patron. And so you're just going to get a small glass, fill it with some ice, and you're going to add enough to cover the ice, so maybe, I don't know, 2 shots or so. Again, eyeballing it. And all you're going to do is grab an orange, preferably a juicy one, and you're just going to cut, oops, that was a little too thin. You're just going to cut a small little slice. And I like to just squeeze a little bit of it in there, and then just throw it in, mix it around, and there you have it. Very simple, very easy, good flavor. A little bit of a bite, but not bad. It's actually fairly smooth. You want to make sure that you go with a little bit of a higher end tequila. If you're out at the bar, you can ask for Don Julio, Patron Silver. Again, with the silvers, they're not traditionally a sipping tequila. They're more of something that's used in mixed drinks. In this case, I don't think you'd consider this a mixed drink, but again, it's not sipping it neat. You have some rocks to kind of water it down a little bit, and then a little bit of that orange just to give it a citrus pop to it. And again, it's going to complement the food excellent. And last but not least, of course, I'd like to invite you into my smoking room, and we're going to go ahead and put it all together with a cigar of choice. So, as you may have guessed, I have selected to pair the little appetizer, the tequila drink, with Rocky's new Prohibition. And I've actually chosen, as you may or may not know, there's 2. There's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper and then the Mexican wrapper. So I've chosen the Mexican wrapper because I absolutely fell in love with this cigar when I was down in Nicaragua last month. Smoked a lot of them, really developed a good palate for them. And I thought that the flavors would just go really well together. There's some strength that's to this cigar. It's not overpowering, but it's a good medium to full body. A lot of good flavors, so you get a little bit of black pepper that's kind of lingering throughout. Not the strongest flavor on the black pepper, but it's definitely there. You get that. It's kind of a longer finish. Starts off with a little bit of sweetness, so you have a little bit of cocoa. You even pick up a little coffee note in there as well. But I thought it would pair well with this because, again, with the recipe, you have a nice combination of some different peppers. You have the black pepper and the salt that's in there, the citrusy, and then of course with the tequila, you just have a phenomenal taste of all of it together. With the cigar, the Patron Silver with a little bit of orange, I can't think of a better way to enjoy it. So this would be my recommendation. If you haven't picked this up, definitely try out this new Rocky Prohibition. And my favorite is the Mexican wrapper. The Connecticut broadleaf is great as well, but different flavoring on that one. I tend to lean towards this wrapper on most cases, and in this one it's just the same. So I hope you enjoyed watching this little bit different type of video, and stay tuned for more fun food pairings and different alcohol spirits as well. And if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. What do you do for the holidays? I'll be hanging out here. I'm actually starting my festivities a little bit early, kind of taking a moment for myself before my house gets bombarded with people, with family and friends, but I absolutely love it, and I hope that you have a wonderful holiday. Again, share your comments. I'd love to hear from you, and as always, thanks for watching.